Hey everybody, Manny here. I'm excited. I got a new lens today. Here it is. It's going to replace this lens, which is a 18-105 Sony G lens. It's got a power zoom. It's got a constant f4 aperture. It zooms internally, so it doesn't move when it zooms. So it's a nice lens. Takes nice pictures, but this lens is more dedicated to video, and I'm pretty much a still photographer. I bought this lens to replace the kit lens when I bought my first Sony a6000. This is an a6500 I have it on now. I didn't like the kit lens that came with the a6000, and I'll leave it at that. I know a lot of people say they like it. I just did not like it. And so I went ahead and as soon as I saw what I was getting from that kit lens, I decided I would go out and get a better lens, and so I bought this lens. And I've had this lens for probably about 2 years, and it served me well, but I just wanted something lighter and smaller, and there wasn't anything else available but this lens in this format. So this is what I got when I replaced my kit lens. But now Sony has recently come out with the 18-135, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm pretty excited about seeing what it'll do for me. So here's this lens, and that's what that looks like. Okay. And now here's the 18-135, and we'll go ahead and check this out. Pretty excited. I always get excited when I get new lenses. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. Came in this nice little box from Amazon.com. Is where I got it. I buy a lot of my stuff from Amazon. Kind of interesting. A lot of times you'll buy something like this and the box will be 5 times as big. This actually fits the box. Here's the box that it comes in. Sony E-mount, 18-135, F3.5-5.6. Yeah, pretty nice. It's got image stabilization in the lens, plus my camera has image stabilization, so that's a double whammy for me. So I'll go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like. I've only seen it online. I've never actually seen it in person, but from what I understand, it's quite a bit smaller than this lens and lighter. So now I have some of the stats on it. It's APS-C E-mount, zoom lens, 18-135, f3.5-5.6. It has a progressive aperture. It has a 7.5 magnification. It is a 27 to 200 millimeter equivalent of a full frame equivalent. It has a 7-blade circular aperture, optical steady shot (OSS). It has autofocus and manual focus switch on it. I'll show you that. It has a minimum distance focus of about 1.5 feet. So yeah, let's take a look at this baby. Here it is. Wow. It's a bit smaller, definitely. I'll put the lens hood on. Here, let's take it off. Okay, with the lens hood on, you can see it's smaller in every dimension. It's smaller in height, and it's smaller in width and girth as well, because this lens, part of the reason is because this one has a constant f4. That's what makes it bigger. Also, this one zooms internally, where this one, the lens moves out as it zooms to 135 millimeters. This is out at 135 millimeters, but even at that, it's just slightly taller than this one, even when it's zoomed out to all the way to 135 millimeters, which is 30 millimeters further than this lens. Right there, it is at about, actually this, let's put it at about 100 millimeters. So it's about the same size at 100 millimeters. So here's your, it has this autofocus, manual focus switch on it. Let's see if I can get that a little closer so you can see the lens a little better. So hoping that's focusing. So autofocus, manual focus switch. This is your, it gives you your different scale here for your different focal lengths. Goes all the way out to 135. Let's see what it looks like on the inside when we do that. Oh, actually, it doesn't start moving out until you get to like 24 millimeters. This part of the lens doesn't actually move till you get past 24 millimeters, and then it zooms out. Okay, it's got a nice front element. It's not as big as the front element on this one. Front element on this one is pretty big, but that's how they look side by side. I'll put this one back. How they look side by side. See if I can set them up like that. So yeah. So this is the lens you would get if you didn't want this lens, and this lens didn't exist when I bought this lens. Okay, so let's put it on the camera and see what it looks like on the camera. Okay, pretty nice. Looks pretty nice on the camera. And this is what that one looks like. And this is what that one looks like. So, looking forward to testing this lens out and seeing what it'll do for me. I want to do a real world review, what I call a real world review. And what that is for me, what that means to me, is I'm going to take this lens out and I'm going to shoot the kind of pictures that I shoot, and then I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to run it through software, and then I'm going to see what my end result is, because I don't care what it looks like as a raw file. I care what it looks like as my end file, my TIFF or my JPEG that I'm going to print or that I'm going to post on the internet. That's what I care about. A lot of people will get a lens like this and they'll pixel peep and they'll look at all the distortions in the raw file and the edge softness and things like that. What I care about is what my end result looks like. I don't care about all those things. Because those things don't end up in your image when you're done with it, because you can bring it through software. From what I understand, at 18 millimeters, this has pretty heavy vignetting, but that's only a click away to fix that, so I'm not really concerned about that. So I'll go ahead. I'm going to go out to downtown Redlands, California, and I'm going to take some pictures and walk around. My wife and I are, and then I'm going to come back home and get the images on the computer and see what I get, and see if I decide that I want to keep this lens or not, or if I'm just going to stick with the 18-105. So let me take a break here and go ahead and do some shooting, and I'll get back to you real quick with what my results are. Okay, so I'm back from shooting and I've done some editing, and let's check it out and see what kind of end results I got. So here's an image I took at 18 millimeters, as you can see in the metadata, 18 millimeters, and this is that vignetting problem that they talk about, and it's pretty severe, but it's pretty easy to get rid of. I'll go over to the grid, and I'm just going to bring this image into Luminar, which is my editing software preference. I really just use Lightroom to manage my images. And okay, and as you can see, we still have that vignetting in Luminar, but what I'm going to do is Luminar just created a lens correction filter for their software in their latest update, and you just click on that, it's gone. Okay, so there, the vignetting problem is gone, the distortion problem is gone, one click. So that's not an issue for me. You know, I'm going to go into this editing software anyway, and so I have to make one little click, and then I'm done with that. Okay, so let's go back to Lightroom, and well, I guess I'll go ahead and edit this image. I have a preset here that I created for these images, and I called it Starter Set, and I just click on that, and that just brightens up my colors. It sharpens up my bricks. It makes the image look the way I want it to look. I want it to look just a little bit better than reality, because that's why how I like my photos to look. You know, and everybody has their own. This is art, so you create images in the way that you see fit, in the way that best serves your artistic vision. And just one more thing I would do to this image, which I didn't do to the other ones that I had edited already, is I would get rid of this right here with my this little piece of junk right here with the eraser part of Luminar. Just a little quick view at Luminar, really beautiful program, and bunches of filters. It's the best thing since sliced bread, as far as I'm concerned, for photography, because it does everything I could possibly want, except for doesn't have a digital asset management module, but they're coming up with that soon. They're going to be in an upgrade. At least that's what they say. But I'm happy with this program just for the editing. But okay, so now I've opened up the erase, and I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of this. And this works really nicely. I'm going to get rid of all the shadows too, because I don't want them to show up. And I'm going to get rid of this little piece of junk here, little piece of garbage here, and maybe this thing here. Get rid of that too. Anything else? I think everything else looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit done, and then it's going to work on it. Luminar 2018, I'd highly recommend it. As you can see, all that junk's gone now. Just kind of cleaned up the image. So normally I would save this, but I've already edited this image already, so I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to go ahead and quit. Add a Luminar. And okay, so these are all my raw files here, and there is some distortion in these images. There is some vignetting at especially at 18 millimeters. As you can see, I took quite a few images when I was walking around, and like you get, this image is very distorted, but we can fix that easily enough. So let's look at the edited images that I did. So I'll go ahead and bring these up. And this is just parts of Redlands, California. They're just images that I made. Now this one here, I kind of misfocus on the girls, but I got the background. And so you can see that this takes pretty consistently nice images. I really like it. I like what it does. I like the sharpness. I like the fact that I can get rid of any issues that this lens has with software. All right, and here I made images at each focal length. This is at this one would be at about 27 millimeters. No, I'm sorry. This is at 18 millimeters, and then this one is about 24 millimeters. And then this one is about 35 millimeters. And then I just kept on going up to 50 millimeters. To just the focal scale on the side of the camera I just used. This one was about 70 millimeters. And then this one was about 100 millimeters. And this was at 135 millimeters. So you can see you got pretty consistent images. All three are focal range. And I'm very happy with this lens. Now, some people might say I need this lens for a couple of weeks to figure it out. Usually, all I need is a day to figure out if I want a lens or not. Because I take some photographs, I run it through my software, I see if I can get the end result that I'm looking for, and if I can, then I'm happy. So anyway, so that's what these are the end results that I got, and I'm incredibly happy with them. I got one more image in here. Got this nice image of this guy in this not very safe shirt riding on a motorcycle. Came out very nice. So anyway, so that's what I got from this camera. I'm not going to go up to 100% and show you any little foibles in the picture, because this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. This is what I'm going to print. This is what I'm going to put on. I'm going to post on the internet. And this is sharp and colorful and exactly what I'm looking for in a lens. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this lens. I'm really happy with it. Okay, so the Sony 18-135 F3.5-5.6. Really like it a lot. I'm happy with the results. Looking forward to taking it to Europe with me in July. I'm going to be gone for about 3 weeks, and I'll be taking this one and my 10 to 18 millimeter, and that's probably all I'll be taking with me. One of the reasons I got this lens is because I do a lot of traveling, and I'm trying to minimize what I have to take with me when I travel. I've invested in some clothing that you can wear over and over again. You don't have to wash, so I can pack less clothing. And this will help me in my minimalizing my photography equipment as well. So highly recommend this lens. I really like it. I really like what it's done. I'll continue to use it. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe. I'm still working on figuring this out and how to do these videos. It's my desire to help other photographers to grow and become better photographers. And as I buy gear, to let you know what I think of it and if it's worth getting. And I really think this lens is definitely a worthwhile lens to own. Thanks a lot.